Greetings, Black Entrepreneurs Headquarters and Black business groups everywhere. I hope that I find you all in the very best of health. I hope I find you all in the best mental state that you can be. Because right now, we're going to have to make sure we're focusing and keeping our eyes on the prize, as they say. But greetings to all of you. Uh, I'm going to try not to be too long today. I didn't rehearse anything. As a matter of fact, I like it when I just speak at the spur of the moment. That way I can be myself, be who I am, and don't worry about impressing anyone. That's one of the things now that I'm beginning to practice. When I come before you, I'm not here to impress you. I'm not here to show you which earrings I have on this time or what dress I'm wearing. I don't pay any attention to that. So it's very important that you focus on what I am about to say. So let's get right into it. In the news. Oh boy, in the news. I know that a lot of you have been watching the news, reading the news, talking about the news, and it's just news, news, news as it concerns the coronavirus and all of the things that it's doing, how many more people, and one of the most important topic had been that African Americans are the ones who are most being affected. Now, I did a previous video about what you should think about that, and I say now, let it fly past you, because we are strong people, we are resilient people, and this appears to be something to throw us off of our square. But because of who we are and the fact that we manage we managed to keep going despite all. And the proof is in the pudding when it goes all the way back to slavery, when we, even at this day, have begun to still, or not, should I say, that we still are pushing forward no matter what. So in that news, you'll see all of this stuff about, the latest people who have passed away and how many more cases and things like that. Pay that no attention. Pay that no attention. Just keep going. That's my advice to you. Do not fear anything or anyone. That's really it. That's it. That's all I have for in the news. So I'm just gonna move right on to my next business topic, which I felt is very important for me to share with you and to give you a better understanding as to why I'm doing all of this. In case someone's asking, I'm not doing this because I want to be seen or I want to put myself out there. I'm doing this because this has been something that has been embedded within my soul for many years. As I've mentioned to you all before, I had been around some of the biggest and the greatest and the most successful black business owners as a young woman, very young woman. Uh, so, as I always say, I just didn't start yesterday. I've been out and about all around these people. And one of the first persons or people that I want to recognize at this time is Mr. Earl G. Graves, who was the owner and publisher of Black Enterprise magazine. He was a great influence upon my business life. I remember when that magazine first came out, when I first started thinking about business and black business ownership. This was the first. How do I say it? And now I'm being lost for words because I didn't plan anything here. This was the first influencer of me. Why I got all caught up into black business empowerment. I mean, this is going way back. Young girl, young woman in my early 20s. Um, I was there when Black Enterprise magazine first came out. And boy, I shouldn't have found out about that. I purchased that magazine religiously. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait for the next issue to come out. And at the time that it came out, it used to be a thick magazine. And then, of course, over the years, it started getting smaller and smaller for whatever reason, I'm not sure. But I remember that used to be a thick magazine. And I would get that magazine and I'd be flipping through it and reading about all these successful black business owners. And I would just be out of my mind, uh, which explains right now why I am so into Black Entrepreneurs Headquarters and all of you folks who are going into business this day. But I used to look at that magazine. He used to have a section in there called the 100 Black Enterprise Companies across the nation. And I would look at this list and try to get ideas of how I could turn my business into one of these successful black corporations. Um, just to give you just a quick story about a black entrepreneur, black enterprise. You see, I'm saying black entrepreneurs, Black Enterprise magazine. I used to build my mailing list off of who was up in there, and mentioning who was up in there. Uh, I remember some of the people who were not as large as I was and became a great success. So right about now, you're probably saying, okay, you was around all these people, and so what happened to you? Okay, short and simple. I got left behind, and I could get into all of the reasons, and I have been periodically given reasons or whatever. But simply put, I got left behind. But what was so remarkable about this is that I would always be that baby of the bunch. And people would notice me and they'd be looking at me like, what's she doing here? Some of them even approached me, what a young lady like you, into this at that time. See? Because during my era, there was not a lot of young people around my age who had the thought about going into business. So I always made an impression when I went around these folks. And I don't know why I went around them, but I tell you what, they didn't intimidate me. I, I would be right there with them in the seminars and the networking sessions, and then they would be looking at me like, hello, you're in the right place here. Yes, I am, and yes, I was. So I learned a lot just from doing that. But to go back to my story, I never met Earl Graves personally, but because I used to use that magazine to build up my mailing list, um, I remember there was an issue that had all of the black accountants in, I think it was the country. I'm not sure. Or yeah, it was the country. But all I wanted out of there were the black CPA firms within my locality, within New York City. And so I lost my book, and I said, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I need that list. And the reason I needed that list uh, is to mail out a letter to them to let them know who I was and what I was capable of doing. And this was based on the fact that I had worked, I may have still been working, I had worked for one of the largest CPA firms in the country at the time. If any of you remember, from that time, that largest CPA firm was called Lucas Tucker and Company. I worked for them. I was responsible in assisting them with their not only their grants but their contracts. Whenever it was time for them to bid for a contract, I was in charge of putting this stuff together, based on the information they would give me. And when I think about it, I'm thinking about the equipment that I was working with at the time. We had some automation, but a lot of that stuff was done manually. But I did work for them. God bless the deceased owner at that time, or within Brooklyn where I worked, uh, uh, Mr. Parnell F. Drayton. And if so, if any of you want to look him up, there may be something in Wikipedia, I'm not sure. But even if you looked up the company, Lucas Tucker and Company, you may see a write-up about that company. So I was so proud to have worked at that black-owned business even back then. I forgot what my title was, but nevertheless, I needed this list of black certified public accounting firms that were located in New York City and other states. So I marched my little self right on up there to Black Enterprise magazine. They were on Madison Avenue, and I believe they're still there. And I went into the office, and of course, they say, "May I help you?" And I told them while I was there, and I had no problem. They said, "Sure, we'll get you a copy right away." And they gave me my copy, and I stood there and I kind of looked to the back. Um, for whatever reason, his office was not Earl Graves' office was not that far away from the reception area. And I peeked back there, and sure enough, I seen him. I seen him working. And that was all I needed, was just to see him. And I saw him. You may not think that's much, but I saw him. I saw him. He was shuffling papers and doing stuff, you know. And so I marched myself out there and I jumped for joy. And I said, I've been at Black Enterprise magazine. And of course, the rest was history. I was able to put together my list. But that was a little story I wanted to tell you in my remembrance of Earl Graves and Black Enterprise magazine. Now, I'm not going to get into a whole lot about my second hero, which I've mentioned before, which was Mr. John H. Johnson. And I'll share my story about him. John H. Johnson, Johnson Publishing Company. That's right. I had the occasion of working at his company, but in New York City. I worked for the advertising portion of Ebony magazine. It was Ebony and it was Jet. And I'll share that story on another Talking Tuesday because I have a lot to say about him. He's also my business hero. I read his book, and it's still out there, and I encourage all of you to read it. Succeeding Against the Odds. That's a book you all should read. What it would do for you is to show you how he made that business a success without technology. So if you look at it, you read it, you could take his same ideas and then apply it to your technology that you use today. And I've always admired this man and followed his techniques, and I still do. But anyway, to move on, so I won't be talking and talking, carrying on as I love to do. Let me just go right into the group page housekeeping. I made a video last week that I will be changing the page description, the group page description, and I ask that you all read it. Please read the description. Because if you don't read the description, you're gonna have a rude awakening because this page is getting ready to change. And If you're not sure why or you don't know why, I suggest that you look at one of my previous videos. Uh, as a matter of fact, look at all the videos because I'm sending out messages and information as it concerns this group page. Based on the things that I have been seeing, I realized that I'm gonna have to do things differently. I've been continuously asking that people fill out the contact page. I've been consistently asking that you support your fellow group members. And I've been consistently asking you all to support me. And so what I had started seeing is that a lot of you, and I'm going to say it, weren't paying me any attention. And I'm not going to get into that part. And it's okay if you don't pay me any attention. I'm still going to talk. I'm hard as a rock, as I've always mentioned to you guys. And you know, I've done what I've had to do. So I don't feel anything. It's really on you guys. Because Black Entrepreneurs Headquarters is a page where I raise you up, I share you, I brag about you, I share the page, the group page. I don't see any other group sharing their group members' group page. I do that because I'm proud of you guys. I'm an advocate, as I always say, for Black business empowerment, and I'm going to do everything I possibly can um, to reach Black businesses across this nation, as large as that might seem. But I'm going to keep on going until I do. So there are changes, and I ask that you all read the description. It's not business as usual with Black Entrepreneurs Headquarters. So again, please read the description. There will be changes coming forth. I've tried to feature guest speakers or guest businesses and that kind of thing on the page, and it seems like I don't know what keeps happening, but that's okay, because even when I try to bring the so-called experts on, I can look unto you guys, you know, because you are my experts. And sometimes I question, well, why are you going outside too to bring in these folks? And then they start acting all out like, you know, I don't know what it is, but I'm not going to get into that either. I'm just going to keep plugging right along here because I love Black business. This has been my life for many, many years. And I'm going to keep this page going. Now, because of the new description for the group page, there's going to be some drop-offs. I already know that. In fact, some are dropping off right now. But that's okay, because on a daily basis, I'm continuing to get members, new people who want to join the group. So as a group goes, a group comes. So again, if you don't agree with the description and what I'm saying there, just kind of move yourself right on along. Uh, and I'll be doing some removals myself. Uh, so I'm not going to get into all of that, because what's going to happen is I'm going to start getting all spiffy and everything. And I don't like to get spiffy. So I'm going to end right here. Everybody keep yourselves safe, well. Take some of the advice that I've been giving about how to maintain your health and to shield yourself from this virus. Look at some of the other people's posts. They have good suggestions too. The different things you could do to maintain your health during this crisis. And so, I'm ending right here. This is Talking Tuesdays with B. Hamilton. Thank you for your time. And as always, peace.